Wait, what's wrong with the title?
What's the title? I don't even know what the title of your video is.
I don't even
What'd you
know.
type?
I put Sony RX10 4. No Sony A7. I don't know. I couldn't come up
Dude,
with anything clever.
that's funny.
I think we're live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. What is going
Uh,
on, peeps?
jeez. You're so right. Yet so wrong. I would have been happy with the memory card at this point.
You buy the A9 now, they give you the free Sony memory card.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
The
you
good
buy.
one?
I think so, right? I don't know. I was trying to check out the A9 earlier, and it like bundled a SD card for free. It's like $200, but it's like because you bought the A9 or you buying the A9, it's like $0. What is going on, people? Arnold, damn, I was hoping for the G Master SD cards, A5200 or the 2870 kit lens refresh. What's going on, Craig, Patrick, Victor? Collins says, "What a joke! I was disappointed." Steve says, 600 millimeter f4. Danny, this is for you.
You know what? I honestly, not gonna lie, that is actually extremely appealing in some ways if it actually performs decently. I think. Well, we're gonna talk about the specs in a little bit, but
yeah, definitely.
it would be. The thing is, I've never really used the Mark III, so I don't know how to compare with the other one.
Do you remember what the difference was between the R2? I mean, sorry, the R2, the Mark II and the Mark III?
It's the zoom. They got rid of the ND filter. I think they improved. I think it has improved. Like, it has similar specs and features to the RX. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure, the lens. It went from a 24 to 200 to a 24 to 600. That was like the big thing. But you went it used to be a constant f2.8 lens. Now it went from a 2.4 to f4 lens.
Okay.
But you're still getting crazy reach on the actual camera, which is pretty cool.
So that means it will maintain like 2.8 even at 200, even in these newer RX.
You know what? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know when it changes, but I get the vibe that it changes to f4 pretty quick though.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure.
All right, we'll definitely talk more about it in just a bit. It is 3:30, guys. Welcome back. Not live. We're doing this live specifically for the new camera announcement. We had this all planned for the A7 III, but guess what?
Dang.
No A7 III, but we're still going live anyways. Me and Danny are like potato qualitying it right now. Both using webcams because our capture device is not working.
It's not working right now. It's not working right now.
Sorry to disappoint you guys even more with the quality today.
Oh, it's all good. It's representative of the cameras that we
Oh, that's hilarious. So today's live, we're just pretty much going to talk about our disappointment that there's no A7 III, but we're also going to be talking about the specs of the Sony RX.
And there's some good things and so forth. So I wouldn't say it's all bad. It's just I think there's some the good. Well, we'll see. Are we gonna jump to reactions soon?
Let's just jump to reactions. I mean, let's talk about our initial reactions and you guys in the chat, let us know what were you doing, what were you wearing, what was the time, where you're from. When you were watching this announcement, how were you feeling? Did you expect it, the A7 III, A7R3, A7S III? Were you disappointed? Were you happy? Were you okay? Do you own an A9 and you're just like, oh, thank goodness, I don't regret my A9 purchase? Let us know in the chat. So Danny, what were you doing and how did you feel about the RX10 4 announcement?
All right, so I left to work at about 6:40. No, like at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or 6:10, and then I'm driving to work, and I'm like 7 o'clock is when the announcement's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, cool. I will know before school starts, like work starts. So I get to work, I'm working on some stuff, and then I'm still working on some things. School doesn't start until like 8 o'clock, right? Or a little bit after that. And so I'm checking the live stream. and then Sony Off Rumors post Sony RX10 Mark IV. I'm like, okay, all right. I was like, okay. Cool. And I checked, the live stream's still going. I'm like, there's still a chance that there's still another camera. And and so I was watching the live stream, and then finally the live stream ended, and I was like, wow, that's it.
That was it.
That was the announcement, and I was like, well, I was so wrong. But I mean, speaking wise, well, that's just my reaction, my initial reaction. It's just, well, that means it gives us time to sell off some stuff in preparation for the A7 III. So that's the only thing that went through my mind. I was like, okay, well, it's an interesting camera, but I'm not necessarily the right customer for it, so to speak. I mean, it does interest me actually, the RX10 Mark IV. But
cool, and we'll definitely ask you why you're interested in just a bit. As for me, I got up at like 6 a.m. because someone said it was going to be 6 a.m., but apparently it was at 7. So I got up an hour early for no reason. But I was watching the live stream, and then they were leading with the RX0, and I was like, isn't this old news? Like, didn't they already have like a press event about the RX0? I don't remember. I honestly don't know if they actually had a press event on it or not. I just know like the videos were released about the RX0. So I was like, man, they're talking a lot about the RX0. They're talking about how this tiny little action camera, I don't even know if you can call it an action camera, but this tiny little camera has the same sensor. It's pretty much an RX105 in this tiny little thing right here. And it just kept going on and on about it. And then the next slide shows that, oh yeah, well, people who got the RX10 II, the market for the RX10 II has increased with the RX10 III. So a lot of people are now using the RX10 III or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, they're announcing another RX10 camera. I was like, I at that point, it was just so abundantly clear. And then they played the video, and I was just like, oh, not an A7 III. So I was disappointed at the moment, but you know, again, just to me, it's just more time to save up for whatever's coming next. And Sony Alpha rumors did say that likely, or maybe you said it, like maybe they're saving it for Photo Plus or something. Like an announcement will happen to follow in October. So we'll
that way it'll be available and people can mess with it. Or maybe they just wanted to get it out of the way before the A7 III came out. You know what I mean? Like it was part of their like cycle of cameras.
Yeah.
And they're just like, let's just get it out of the way already. But I kind of got the gut feeling already that they weren't going to release something, only because, you know, when they released the RX10 Mark IV, I was thinking to myself, they're definitely not going to put another camera up right now because they wouldn't want to steal the thunder from this one.
Oh yeah, no.
I was just like, they definitely want people to pre-order this. But honestly, for me personally, it doesn't really change my situation. So it just sucks for a lot of people who are in anticipation for an A7 III already.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's okay. Like hopefully those people who are anticipating the A7 III got some better news from the Apple event.
I was
iPhone 8.
checking. Yeah, I was checking some of the show notes on that one real quick to see what was going on. At first I thought it was just the regular iPhone 8, and then I was watching like the live notes coming up, and then all of a sudden the iPhone 10 they're calling it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, for sure. But that's not what this show's about today.
No. Let's not try to go off tangent on that. But
all right,
I just want to make a comment really quick that someone on Danny's channel yesterday pretty much just caught it. Someone who's like my wife's cousin's husband's girlfriend or whoever works for Sony. He said it's a point and shoot camera. There's a new camera, but it's a point and shoot camera. And
dang,
this guy's legit, man. This guy's legit. Source is extremely credible. SR5 rumor right there.
Wow, I totally forgot who said that.
I forgot who said that. If you're in this chat, let us know, man. We owe you an apology for calling you bluff.
All right. It would have been cool if it was like I said, it would have been funny if it was an SD card too. They're like, an SD card. I'm like, damn it.
I mean, like it was going to be a camera announcement. We all knew that, and you know, it was 24 frames per second. It was everything that we sort of talked about, but just in the body of an RX10. You know, people, you know, there's some people who are saying it has a lot of that features that the A9 had in this little camera.
I think so. Didn't they say it was similar performance that you're going to get
Mhm.
I
Silent
think.
shooting as well,
Anti-distortion shutter. That's something the A9 was all in for.
and also four frames more than the A9 in terms of silent shooting. Right, the A9 is 20 frames per second. This one is.
So are we gonna go down some of the specs right now?
You wanna see what the
Or
chat has to say about their reactions first?
yeah, let's go. Let's take a look.
All right, let's just really quickly let's go over your guys' reaction on this. Mike Wilkinson says, "Has Sony actually confirmed there's no A7 III? The announcement, it's already been announced. Whatever today, whatever was going to be announced today was already announced. So there's nothing about the A7 III. It's not that it's no A7 III. It's just there's nothing about it for
Yeah.
today's whatever."
They were laughing at us the other night, man. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
there's
they
someone
were
in,
just like,
they were just like, I bet you they were like, you know what? Let's just not release the A7 III so that one camera guy and Jason Bach could look like fools.
Steve says hashtag reaction. They were getting all the RX stuff out of the way to drop the A7 III bomb. Then it's finish. WTAF, Sony rumors bigged it up so hard. Let's see here. What else? Victor Collins says, I really want a 24mm 1.4 G Master. And Evan Pollinger says, so disappointed. So disappointed. Victor Collins says, it's a good cam for my 80-year-old mother-in-law. She takes bird shots in her yard.
And that's honestly what it really is for. It's a travel zoom point and shoot camera. But
Yeah.
they didn't. Okay, so I guess I don't know if we want to. Hey, what's going on? I'm the Brown.
I'm the Brown. How did you feel about the RX10 Mark IV announcement?
Dude.
Let us know. Yeah, you were saying, Danny, or should we jump into the specs?
I mean, we can kind of nitpick on the specs because I kind of want to go over some of the things that you mentioned and the potential it has.
For sure.
Because there was like our first spec is that it's 24 frames per second.
Right.
The previous RX10 Mark III had 14 frames per 14, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a dramatic improvement from the previous RX10 Mark III. And what I'm really noticing is that they basically 24 frames per second is video already. It's film.
Yeah, it's film.
And he even mentioned it. The guy that's in lead for US, he said that you could be creative with it and shoot a video at 24 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
And with the I'm the Brown drop. I'm the Brown. What the heck?
Oh my God, I'm the Brown. Thank you.
Thanks, I'm the Brown. That was a trash
if it was the A7R3, we would have gone $100. Darn it! Darn it!
Oh shoot! But no, what I'm thinking though is that because it gave 24 frames per second, that means the potential for isn't that like 6K?
I don't know.
20 megapixels?
I think so. Yeah, 20 megapixels.
Maybe they're teasing it for the future. I'm wondering.
I don't know. Let me look it up. But let's move on to a few other specs.
Oh, 6K looks like it's 24 megapixels. So it's like 5K, I guess, or something like that. In between 5 and 6K. All right, go ahead, Jason.
All right, so the next points are 315 phase detection autofocus points, covers about 65% of the screen, and this is new too. I think like the previous RX10 III, RX10 II does not have phase detection, so we're getting some blazing fast autofocus, and it's going to work extremely well in video as well. So that's actually pretty exciting.
I think they said it's the second fastest focusing camera based on that speed.
Second fastest?
I'm assuming what's to the A9. A9. I'm guessing it's the A9.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The lens is still the same as the previous iteration, the 24 to 600 lens. F2.4 to F4 variable aperture, depending on what focal length it would change. What is it? There's no in-body image stabilization, but the lens does have optical steady shot. Danny mentioned it earlier, anti-distortion shutter up to 1/32,000th of a second. So if you're playing, yeah,
it looks like they're bringing the same tech from the A9. The A9 tech is moving along.
The baby A9. Silent shooting, just like the A9. There's mechanical mode available too, in case we want to sync up the flash. For the videos, it's a bit disappointing on my end because it's not 4K 60. If it had 4K 60, might have picked up the camera.
Honestly, at 4K 60 would be interesting for that camera.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if there was any camera with the potential for 4K 60p, it'd be that one because of the smaller sensor. I've never had any overheating issues with my RX10 Mark II, and I've shot with it in 4K, and I've had the unlimited time hack, so I've recorded long sessions with it.
Okay.
I've never had problems with it. But I was like, I don't know.
I'm like, come on, man. The iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10 can shoot 4K 60. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not see that. I did not see that spec.
Use that for our wedding videos, do some slow motion 4K 60 on the iPhone.
Wow. Crazy.
So to add on top of the video stuff, up to 1,000 frames per second, depending on either quality mode or shoot time priority. It's 4 to 7 seconds for those 1,000 frames. Does have picture profiles, and I think they included S-Log 3 and S-Log Cine Gamut. I forgot what that is, but pretty much S-Log 3 in it. Has a headphone jack and a mic jack, which I never knew the RX10 had. That's pretty.
Yep, they've had it. They've had it since day one, since their first generation.
Nice, very nice. I didn't know about that. It's still tilt screen, which is a huge bummer. But it has touch screen, and
that's new.
That's new. And it seems like it's different from the 6500 and the A9 because you can actually rack focus with your finger. I just watched a video about it, and depending on how slow or how fast you drag the finger, that's how fast and how slow the focus would transition from one object to another. That's pretty freaking insane, and I really want them to implement that into the next A7 III camera, A7R2, A7R3, A7S3, because the ability to control the rack focus with your finger is definitely going to be, man. I can't believe I'm going to use the word game changer. Game changer. It's priced at $1,700 and it's shipping in October 2017. So I'd say Danny and I will probably get a chance to play with it at Photo Plus.
Or we could potentially hit up pro support and see if they'll be willing, if they have copies to loan.
Probably. I don't know. Who would be interested in seeing us review this camera? Let us know.
Yeah.
Should we jump into the comments really quick, or should we move on?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, for sure.
Steve says, "I'm not dropping coin till the spec sheet says 4K 60p."
I'm on board with you, Steve. Yeah. Let's see here. Val says, I'm listening on my way to work when it ended. Was very disappointed. I guess the A7R2 will be picked up now. I didn't think they continue making the RX series. Let's see here. Someone asked, can the RX10 IV shoot 25i?
Interlaced? It can definitely shoot 25p. I don't know about interlaced though.
Yeah, I never shoot interlace on my camera. That's only available in what? AVC HD? And that's more of a PAL thing, right? So
I don't know.
I would assume so, because you can do 60i on this, but I never shoot AVC HD. I never shoot interlace, so sorry about that.
Matthew says, sorry guys, but down deep you knew the A7 wasn't coming until Christmas.
That
is, you could always dream.
That is still fine with me, you know. I think by now, I think wedding season is coming to a pretty slow stop for us. So at this point, wouldn't need it until next year.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Evan Pollinger says, I just don't know how many people are willing to spend $1,700 but don't want to be able to change lenses.
I think honestly that's a tough appeal. And honestly, now they have 4 RX10s all for sale. The RX10 Mark 1 through Mark 4, they're all for sale. So they literally have 4 different cameras now. It's just like, how many more do you want on the market? Because I looked it up on B&H Photo. They're selling all of them. They're all still for sale.
Nice. Do they ever discontinue their camera?
Probably their older RX100s. I don't know if the first gen is still out there. But
There's several places that still sell the RX100 too.
yeah, I just don't know. So really, I mean, it's not like they're saying, "Oh, well, this is better than the RX Mark III." They're like positioning it like, okay, well, if you want the RX100 the RX10 Mark IV is a completely different camera to the RX10 Mark III. So it's just like, it's just strange. It's an interesting way they're handling it, but it's just like, for example, the A6000 is still available, the A6300 and the A6500. They never replace. It's not really a complete replacement. They're just adding to it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the last comment you just read out was, we don't know how many people actually spend $1,700 and be able to change the lens. So let's talk about the potential. Let's talk about who's the camera for. Who's the market? What's the market? So, Danny, I'm very curious. How have you been using the RX10 too? And
I literally
something that you would upgrade to?
see. I would originally the use for it was just to have like a camera that was just dedicated just to record in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when I was testing out the RX10 Mark II, it didn't have any overheating issues. So for video, if the lighting was decent, I could set it up and use it as a camera to record like a concert, for example. And I've used it to record like a concert, and I've just let it run. And the quality in 4K, I don't need it like exceptionally great, but it's pretty darn good compared to Canon's offering, for example, right? But the 4K on it's really good. And like I said, I do the time limit hack on the RX10 Mark II, and I'm happy. I'm personally happy with the results. So, but now with this camera, I think the potential would be for my domain is like, for example, if we wanted to record a football game, you have 24 to 600. I just don't know how fast that zoom goes. So you could potentially record sideline footage. But that's just me. I'm just like I said, I'm just speaking on my particular turf of what I would use it for.
And that's cool too.
Yeah, but like if you're doing travel and all that stuff or shooting wildlife, that's a different scenario, which I don't really do. So, but yeah.
But with the new phase detection, with the new autofocus, I mean, this is going to be something that might be appealing to you for sports photography.
That would be crazy. What if you could use it to shoot like daytime sports, like baseball, softball?
Yeah.
Maybe you're like a weekend, maybe like your soccer, like the soccer parents or whatever. They shoot during the Saturday games. Like this, if the quality is decent, I think it'd be really good. I just don't know if there was an improvement in the ISO performance in that department. But like I said, if it's a daytime type sport, I think this camera might be really pleasing to this particular category of people that just want one camera and not deal with a bunch of lenses. That's the way I would look at it.
Yeah, same here. So I mean, like, it just seems like it's gonna appeal to maybe, like you said, parents too. I had a mom at Sammy's a couple months ago. Was just like, oh, do you recommend the 85 or the 7200? The 7200 is too heavy for me, blah, blah, blah. I just want to shoot my kid's soccer game. And then I guess at the time I didn't know about the RX10. I guess I never really cared about it or to find out. But it seems like this is something that I should have suggested to her as a solution. Like you don't want the crazy setup. I think this is probably the RX10 now Mark IV might be a better choice to shoot your kid's soccer game or kids sports or whatever. So
that's honestly the thing I'm really interested to see. If the performance is really good, like if someone was asking me, I've got $2,000, what should I get? I don't want something complicated. People that do have some cash like to burn, but they want to be able to take pictures of their kids. It's like, I would say you might want to try this camera out in the store or see how this camera performs. Because like I said, it's like, yeah, you're not going to get that crazy shallow depth of field. It's a 1-inch sensor, but for most people, it doesn't matter. Like if you get that shot of their kid from far away, like as long as their kid's in action and everything, I think that they're going to be happy because that's the one domain that cell phones have no control over right now.
The range.
Right now, phones cannot compete with like field sports. You got to get like a DSLR mirrorless camera, or now in this case, this kind of type of camera. But I'm wondering if the previous generation was any good. Like I don't know. I don't know how to. I can't compare the previous gen to this one, but they're touting the autofocusing system. So
yeah. So I'd say I don't know. For me, how I would, if I were to have it, if I were to get the camera, I can really see this as a great hybrid camera for photos and videos. I mean, like just because just the fact that they added the phase detection to it. I mean, like that's the main reason I picked up the RX105 is because of the phase detection autofocus. It just really made it a bomb photo and video camera. So it has 24 to 600 millimeters, it has massive range, and like someone in the comments says, it's all in one. So it's great for people who want the best of both worlds, photos and videos, without stressing to buy a bunch of lenses. So because of this camera, I feel like you don't really have to get a camcorder, you know, like to make your family videos, because now you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting amazing stills, fast focusing stills, while retaining all the amazing video features, you know, with the headphone jack, the mic jack. So you can really make this into a great family camcorder and a family camera all in one. So
actually, you are up. I think you hit on the nail on the head right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the lowest light situations, it's going to struggle, obviously, but it has a flash.
It has a flash.
If you're just, and you could use a flash. I think it's a hot shoe on there. You could use a flash,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. There is a flat. Let me see. Am I losing my mind? Yeah, there's a hot shoe. So if you really wanted to, you could use a flash indoors, and you could still get some great images. That's the potential this camera has. But I would probably see if you can get it cheaper later on in the future. But that's it. That'd be me.
And just to finish up what I was going to say, it's going to be like a great secondary camera for people. Like they're marketing this to like even professionals. That's what they're saying. Professionals do have this as a secondary camera, a B and C camera for whatever it is they're doing. It's a good complement to the full frame A7S2, A7R2 already, A9, whatever it is. So for me, if I had this, it'd probably be good for weddings. I mean, like just because of that range, that 600 millimeter range. Probably wouldn't have to ever go up to that much, but just the fact that you have that in your arsenal could be a good thing.
You know, the RX10 Mark II that I have, the autofocusing is so slow.
It's so slow. So you would have to go manual focus.
Yeah, you would, and it's still not very good if you're doing that. And so that's this RX10 Mark IV, like you're saying, touchscreen, being able to touch the focus and this stuff. I think that's going to be really excellent. It's just the price. The price is just like, it's so left field in terms of. The thing is, there's nothing. I'm pretty sure Panasonic has their own Lumix camera that's like this too. They have their own long zoom range stuff, but I just wish the price was a little lower, maybe around the $1,200 to $1,300 range. Then it would be kind of appealing, maybe to sell off my other one and maybe look at this one. That's just me though, but it's a bit expensive right now for this. Especially because it feels like it's like an A7 III kind of territory in terms of price. But
that's true.
Hey, the flip out screen. They didn't do a flip out screen. What the heck?
So let's talk about what's missing. One of the things is no flip out screen. I just feel like if they don't have it on this camera, I feel like the next camera doesn't seem too promising, man. Like I don't feel like the A7 III is going to have a flip out screen.
I just don't get it. Just that would make it perfect, because you're mentioning it was more like a video camera. When I think video camera, I think like the handy cams, you know, you kind of hold it and you can flip that screen back and forth. I'm like, why can't, I mean, make it happen. It's strange.
Yeah, it just seems perfect with this long zoom as well, just to have this flip out screen, this articulating flip out screen. For me, again, I think we just like keep bashing this into people's head, but 4K 60, man, we're just missing that 4K 60. Built-in ND would be nice since they included S-Log2 and S-Log3. I just feel like that's something that they should have also included. I don't know if that is, but
the S-Log stuff, they've had it.
Well, they don't have the built-in ND, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Because with the S-Log, your native ISO becomes 800. In the RX105 case, your native ISO is like 1600, I think. So you're at a crazy high ISO, and when you're shooting outdoors, especially in broad daylight, that's not going to cut it. You have to have an ND filter. So having that built in might have been nice. I think you said they did have it, right? They used to have
in
it
the RX10 on the RX10 original and the RX10 Mark II. They had the built-in ND. Then when it came to the 3 and obviously the 4th one, they removed it. Ouch. But you know, I'm thinking the logic here is that because it's a single lens, you can just buy one filter size and you wouldn't have to worry about changing it out. So you would just have to buy a dedicated ND filter for that particular camera, whether it's a variable ND or something, and just keep it with it. And I think I think maybe that's kind of the logic behind that reasoning, or maybe just optically or technologically they had issues trying to get everything to work right, the engineering sense. But
yeah.
Yeah.
with the whole ND thing, you guys are gonna have to buy a variable ND filter in a 72mm thread size. Tiffin has a great one. But yeah, so the last thing on the show notes is just pretty much, I mean, what do you guys think? Are you guys gonna buy it? Is it something that's up in your alley? Let us know in the chat. And we'll go over a few more comments for like another 3 minutes, and we'll call it a show, man.
All right, let's see here. I know I'm the Brown was asking me what my students call me here. It was funny because they used to call me Mr. E. My last name's Eusebio. And I think like the vice principal told me, you shouldn't have the kids say your entire name because they should be able to say your whole name because this was elementary school. And I said, okay, fine. You know, they'll say my whole name. So yeah, they call me Mr. Eusebio. Sometimes they joke and they call me that one camera guy. Once in a while. Like if I'm out in the, like for example, if I'm out at a game or like at the high school game, they'll say like, hey, it's that one camera guy. So that happens once in a while. Yeah.
Your secret identity.
Just wanted to answer that.
Your secret identity.
Let's see. V3Z says, I personally think that Sony is waiting until the A7000 series to give us a fully articulating screen. Okay, guess it's as good as mine.
Mm-hmm. Bowwin says, market may be used for a really good travel camera. And I think, you know, that's something that we didn't really touch up too much on. But yeah, going to be a great travel camera. You don't have to carry too many lenses. You don't ever have to take out the lens, so you never have to clean your sensor. So there you go.
Unless you break the lens, and then you got to.
Unless you break the lens, and that's you
break it in
half. Steve says they give you the 600mm and 35mm equivalent, but not the aperture. I know the f4 is an f4, but on a 1-inch sensor, that's f11. People.
In terms of depth, in terms of depth of field, yes, Steve, you're absolutely right. You're not going to get the same, but the exposure is an f4. Like the light gathering capabilities is an f4. It's just the depth of field. You're not getting the same.
Chris Barr says, I told you what it's going to be. So, people made fun of me for it, but my Sony source was right. You were right, Chris. It was you. It was you. You were right.
Chris Barr, man.
I don't know if you were in the beginning of the show, but we were like, yeah, someone was right. We all live in a bar.
Let us know. Give us a heads up on the A7 III.
you are our insider news, man. Our SR5 guy right here. Victor Collins says, okay. Sony's playing with people's emotions. Chris Dallas
said, yeah. He traded in his RX10 Mark III for an Alpha 6500. Thought he really liked the RX10 Mark III, but the 6500 is completely on a different level for him and difficult to go back to a smaller sensor again. I agree. It is a little challenging. And like I said, I would only use the RX10 series for a particular scenario where I would find it beneficial.
The Brown says, I now believe Sony feels like they don't have to do a flip out screen because they're seeing the A9 and the other cameras just fine. If the sales were impacted, they would just do what's needed.
Damn it.
Let's see here. Matt Fan says, yeah, if you use a larger sensor, then the magnification won't be the same. You'd have to have a much larger lens to reach 600mm.
Yeah, if it was an APS-C style body, yeah, you'd definitely have to be a massive setup.
Yeah.
Stevie says, just disappointed.
He's not getting it. Stevie's not getting it. Chris Dow says the technology is there. They can do a big zoom with the APS-C, but they're just playing the waiting game.
I don't know. That'd be cool.
Falcon says this camera will probably intrigue my father-in-law.
Okay.
Chris Dallas says, Boss. Why would they not incorporate the Boss system in the RX10 III? Boss is the best stabilization there is. What does the B stand for? If you don't.
Yeah.
Body? Boss.
Like the water?
Oos. Boss. Balanced optical steady shot. It is pretty good on the Sony Action Cam.
It's cool. I mean, like I said, honestly, when I woke up this morning, right, the first thing that went through my mind was this: I need to sell my A7 too, because I was like, crap. The A7 III is coming out, right? And I was like, oh crap, I gotta sell my A7 II. If the A7 III gets announced right now, no one's gonna buy an A7 II. And then they didn't announce the A7 III. I was like, okay, cool. I got like some time to sell out the A7 II and not lose a lot of value in preparation for the A7 III.
I mean, you might as well get it ready. Just have the listing up, just in case. All right, I think that's pretty much it. And
hold on real quick. Leo says, Jason, did you order the A9 yet?
Hey, Leo. No, not yet.
And then I'm the Brown says we should put out a video saying why I'm leaving Sony and state the flip out screen at 4K 60p.
That's gonna get some. We gotta post.
That's it right there. Just make like a overheating video, one of those.
Cause some attention. All right.
I mean, yeah. Oh well.
Anything else, Danny? Anything else you want to add to the RX10 Mark IV?
I think that's gonna do it as far as the RX10 Mark IV. I think I'm gonna go try and shoot some volleyball right now, so we'll see.
All right.
Other than that, that'll do it for me on my end.
Cool. All right, Chris Dallas, you have a question for me? I see it, so just send me an Instagram DM and I'll get to it as well. And Dustin Dilworth says, "Is the RX10 a place for a wedding C cam?" I personally think so. I think it can definitely work as a C cam. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. All right. Guys, Monday Night Live. Since we're doing the live show today on my channel, should we go back to your channel next week, or is it going to be on my channel?
It's totally up to you. We could do it on your channel the next one. It's cool.
We'll keep the pattern going. So next week it's going to be on my channel. Next Monday, me and Danny will come back live. It'll be a full-blown show. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this not Monday Live to talk about the not Sony A7 Mark III. We'll see. Maybe the rumors will keep churning then. We'll see you guys in the next video and the next live.
Alrighty. See you guys. Bye.